and welcome to the RPG Blender, where we give lesser played games or forgotten settings the roll of the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, thrilled to welcome you to the next step in our adventure. Our characters have found a tool to unlock the tower's mysteries, but what consequences will such action bring? Find out as we venture into the converging worlds of Dungeons and Dragons in Rejects and Dragons, Gateway to the World.
I'm gonna go into the book room, and I hit the middle button.
Yeah,
Oh no, you might reactivate all the books.
You hit the middle button. And as you do, the previously destroyed books on the ground, which you had spent so long attempting to fight, begin to reconstitute themselves, rising up and then making their way back to their shelves.
Cool. I fixed the books. I go, I fixed the book.
Why would you do that?
Oh,
They almost killed us.
well, it's not malicious.
The last few books are beginning to make their way back in place on the shelves.
I'm not in for this, and I run for the door.
Barbarian quickly follows him.
Open the door.
And does Levi remain in this room?
I follow them to because I assume that they ran and were loud.
Yeah, I physically open the door and then immediately close it behind me.
Okay.
Now that I'm in here.
Wait, you don't close the door. Levi's got to get out.
No, I'm fine.
If the door is open, that is where the books attack us, right?
I mean, yes, but he's got to get out of there.
Then he can open the door and close the door. I'm not taking chances.
Can't leave the man to die, and I...
Is anything happening, or are they just
As
talking?
long as the door is closed, they will not attack him. So I'm keeping the door closed, and he can look at them as long as he wants, and when he is done, he can come and see us.
The last book is about to set itself on the shelf. The other ones have not moved off of it yet.
I hit the top button, and I pointed at one of the tables, and I'm thinking about how to get into that room.
What?
I don't know. I assume that the top button activates certain things, so maybe I'm hoping that the books are, if this room is meant to help with research, and the books magically come off of the shelves to attack you. I guess my hope would be that the actual purpose is beyond that.
He's trying to combine the teaching tool with the magical aptitude of the room.
Yeah.
To summon books based on what he's willing that he wants to find out about.
Yeah.
Interesting theory. Okay. Who had the missing library book?
Me.
Okay, good to know. You do that. A book does, in fact, fly off the shelf. It then opens, and you begin to see the magical energy coalescing around it again.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm in for the ride. I just stare at it.
Okay. All right, here we go again.
Yeah, if it starts to shoot, I'll leave. I mean, not if it starts to shoot. If it shoots, then I'll leave, and that'll be that.
Okay, it shoots.
All right, well, do you want me to roll the die 6?
Yes, please.
There you go. 1.
Okay, and then give me a D100.
45.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Okay, it coalesces magical energy, which then emerges in the shape of a hand, which slaps you across the face.
Fair.
Or attempts to do so. Does a... Oof, that's base 18, so I'm going to assume it hits you. So that's a... Okay. Yes, it cracks you right in the face for 4 bludgeoning damage.
I quietly back out of the room and close the door.
Okay. You back out of the room and close the door.
I'm rubbing my cheek. And I go, okay, I don't quite get how that room works.
I don't think any of us do. But I think I do know that you just reset it.
Yeah, which is good.
Is it? How's your cheek feeling?
No knowledge was ever gained without some risk.
True enough. Shall we continue our odd process of finding out what this place does?
Yeah, I suppose we should head back to the catacombs. It's a few places that we have. Are you sure you don't want to sleep before we start activating anything?
You would not regain spells by taking a sleep right now unless you literally slept till the next day.
Oh, all right. Well,
because I did not remember the library book, but you mentioned it, so now it's eating at my soul. Can I roll like I don't know, like a flat intelligence check or something like that to try
Sure.
and see if it comes to Damon's memory?
Sure.
Can he do it with advantage because I'll help him with my literal equal intelligence?
I don't think you can assist him with a memory
My
check.
memory issues.
I gotta ask.
I'm going to say that's one of the few things that you cannot help somebody with,
You never
randomly
not-
recalling an event.
Does it start with like a T and you're like, yeah, it's a Tim Teddy.
Well,
Teddy.
That's a different situation. This is randomly having something pop into your holy crap. Okay, sure, why not?
Hey.
That's a natural 20 to a 24. So, yes, you do recall the library book in that moment.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I really like this book, but maybe, and I pull out the book, this needs to go back there. Where? I'm uncertain. But, humor me, I'm gonna give this a try. And I'm gonna, with book in hand, in one hand, I'm gonna open the door with the other, take a quick look to see what's going on in there. There's not a book flying around trying to slap people, is there?
There is a book flying. However, it does not appear to be attempting to cast a spell at the moment.
Okay. I'm just returning a book, I say, as I walk into the room. Is there a place where this goes? I guess I'm gonna try and see if there's like a specific place I should be putting it.
Presumably, the desk to your north would have been where books would have been checked out or returned.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over to the desk and I'm gonna put the book down there.
And as you do, the flying book relaxes and flies back onto the shelf.
They just needed the book!
So this place, they would kill students? Like, if you came in here and someone was missing a book, the books would start attacking you and you'd go and yell at your classmates?
Tough life, wizard school.
Oof. So now I wonder what'll happen if I hit the button.
Which button are you hitting?
The one that got me hit before. Damon, do you want to leave before I hit this button that got me hit before?
I would love to. And I leave.
All right, you hit the button and nothing happens.
I say out loud and I hit the button and I say plainer knowledge and I point at the desk.
Nothing happens.
I'll figure your secrets out, library. And I close the door.
You know, Levi,
well.
oh, hey, wait, where did Aberion go?
Where did Aberion go?
Aberion, I say, calling down the hallways.
Did he go toward the basement? Oh, whoa. I actually give a start as I walk into the kitchen and he's just there.
What's wrong? And I give a start when I see Aberion suddenly there as well.
You make your way through the dining room, past the steaming food, and over to the trapdoor.
We should really...
Stare very suspiciously at that food as I walk by.
All right, so for my own sanity, are you literally heading into the catacombs to then come up in the tower?
Damon would want Levi to test his teacher's rod at the portal.
Very well. You make your way down into the catacombs, through the fridge, remembering to shut the door as you leave, into the tomb, through the burned out classroom, burned out library, and back up to the portal room. Where do you put the rod to press it?
First of all, I look and see if there's any place those discs would fit in this room.
Yes, there are. There are 4 circles built into the portal arch, which those discs could fit into.
We probably want to put one of these, at least one of these, in one of these holes.
Damon, from your experience with it, it requires a minimum of 2.
However, it needs a minimum of 2 to function.
Oh, all right. Well, then, you want to put all 3 in?
Do I have any knowledge that having more is advantageous or otherwise, or I just have recognized many of these in portals?
So your use of this, the stones placed in the device act as a key, tuning it to a specific other portal. So by knowing the correct keystones to place in, you can link it to a specific portal.
And I recognize one of these as one similar to the portal I've utilized at home, right?
They all look similar to what you've seen at home.
Nothing exact.
One of them exactly matches a stone that you saw at your benefactor's.
Do either of the other 2 stones feel reminiscent to this realm? Based on the things I've seen that I've been trying to study as we've been exploring this tower and learning
Okay.
more about the crystal magics and whatnot. I'm trying to connect the dots between the other 2 remaining discs to see if anything there correlates with what I've been picking up.
No, it still seems to follow similar magical design to your own realm.
All right. Then let's use, and I choose the one that's familiar to mine, and one of the other 2.
There's one that's mostly squiggles and one that's mostly spirals.
Gotta go with the spirals.
And what do you do?
Well, after putting those 2 in, I'll then say, all right, this in theory could work, and I don't know if that rod will activate it or not, but it seems to be attuned in some way with the magics and the functional, I guess, ritualistic details here. So, in theory, it might actually activate the portal.
Good enough for me, and I hit the button.
No, wait, let's get on the...
You hit the button. and the
While
portal-
pointing at the middle area.
You do so. And the portal springs to life. Swirling magical energy coalesces inside of it until eventually you see what looks almost like a rippling curtain of purple energy filling the hole.
And I just kind of smile at Damon and say, you have to have more faith in your theories. I do.
Hey, can you try and turn it off?
I can try. And I hit the button again.
You hit the button again and it does deactivate.
Oh, okay. You know that could have sucked us in, right? And then, like, fused us or ripped us to pieces or
Oh,
something.
yeah, we've absolutely been over that, yeah.
Well, let me stand outside the room. If you want to get ripped up, you get ripped up.
You presented a theory. I thought it was a sound theory. I had faith in your theory.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but let me just take my precautions next time, please.
Of course, my apologies.
Okay. So the portal works. Where
Well-
it goes, I don't know, but I believe that is a functional portal.
Do we want to try the rod on other things upstairs, or are we content?
I think the real last thing I might suggest is the button. And even then, I say this in a restrained fashion. I don't know what that will do, but that looked to be a powerful setup for some sort of ritual. I mean, they were using a whole floor.
Yeah, I think it probably moves the tower. I don't know that for a fact, but if I had to guess.
This takes you back to your home. Perhaps we need to find a way to take us back to our homes as well.
Well,
I would actually think that for individuals, and I point to this, that this would probably work, which is why I think that is probably a larger scale magic. Or maybe this is just portal magic in my world. I don't know.
well, here's the question. Is it worth it for us to investigate the activation of that floor and the button and what it may or may not do?
Oh, well, I mean, it's obviously absolutely worth it. The question is do we want to explore this portal and see if it works on a more individual level, or do we want to try what is arguably going to be a much stronger magic?
If we go through this portal, it takes us where? To your world, Damon?
That's possible.
And there was that tower that we saw in the map upstairs, and it had a picture of your world, correct?
Reminiscent part of it, yes. The tower in Kragbushun.
Perhaps we need to find the secret magics that exist at the end of each of these towers, and that will allow us to find our way home.
I suppose it's possible. I mean, I do know that there were powerful, at least one powerful artifact in that tower itself that I was investigating before I was pulled here. All right, if you're correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to read the room, but it seems you're suggesting going in the linear order of magical power. Would you believe this portal is less than whatever that button might be?
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's try the portal. Who wants to go first? And I give a nice toothy grin and look around.
I'll go.
Attaboy, Levi. Ever the adventurer. Okay.
Before you send him through the portal, there's one thing that you would remember, Damon. The Keystone portal also occurs on the other side. To link the portal back to here, without somebody to activate it from this side, you would need to know the runes for this location.
Shoot. We can't go through yet. There'd be no way to return.
Oof.
Although,
George, there's a
Mhm.
third disc, correct?
Yes.
Is it outrageous for me to hypothesize that use of that disc in wherever this portal would bring us to would then connect that portal to this portal.
Remember that it requires a minimum of 2.
Oh, and I only have 1 spare here.
Yes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I take out one of the pieces of parchment that we've been collecting. Have we found any like chalk or charcoal or
Sure.
anything like that?
There's some burnt bones in the kitchen.
That's true. Also, there's that fire that the witches had. But either way, I take that and I'm just gonna make like a pressed etching of all the stones.
Okay, you do so.
We have a reference
Mm,
for where we're going, and then potentially for where we've been.
But we need at least another stone, another keystone, another disc.
Yeah, realistically, you need to know just the sequence of stones that would allow you to come back here.
But I have no idea just by looking at these, even though the portal's activating.
I got it. Yeah, that'd be a dumb way to do it. But we do have a library here, so I'm gonna go just take some time to really work this puzzle.
Suppose I can do that as well. Seems like a day well spent, rather than
Yes.
being stuck somewhere else.
Yes. Instead of the trial. So let's go to the library, shall we?
Give me an intelligence check.
Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. He's trying to help me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Apparently you're
Rolled
good at
16 for a
that.
20.
Okay.
Yay, I'm a big brain.
The glyph in front of the portal lies directly below the one you saw in the tower, in the center of it, the one that seemed to be a focus of energy. There was also a small library with completely burned up books in there. It is likely that the books pertaining to these symbols, their combinations, and the research thereof would have been contained in that library, and their knowledge would have been used in the construction of whatever all of this stuff is in this tower.
Levi,
Mhm.
is it possible that teaching rod of yours might be able to do a similar fashion of fixing up a bookcase in that ruined library? You know, the one with all the burned books?
We could try. You mean the burnt books or the eaten books?
Any
All
and
right.
all of them. Something in there might be exactly the knowledge we need.
Oh yeah, and I could probably try mending those books too. Go into that
Okay.
room.
You go into the room with the book with the devoured pages. You press the middle button, because that was what repaired the book in the other place. Unfortunately, because these books are not tied to a magical effect designed for teachers in this library, in this building, it does not have a similar effect.
I will hit the top button.
There is no magical teaching implement here, because this is clearly not a place meant for students.
That makes sense. I click the pointer because I know that works, and I just move it around. And then I
It
stop.
works. You make a very nice light show.
The knowledge was here. It had to have been.
And these books are here. They have bites out of them and stuff. So I'm actually going to try mending some of these books.
The books don't have bites out of them. The words have bites out of them.
And that is not repaired, I'm guessing.
Correct. Because the book itself is undamaged.
They're very thorough. What we may want to do with our time then is grab some of these books as we're studying at the other library, and we can see if we can find symbols that kind of match the keystones, even if it's just a symbol here, a symbol there. If we can find a way to trace them to the keystones that we have, we may be able to figure out what other keystones should look like. I don't know.
I mean, it's at least worth a try, right?
Yes,
Okay,
it is
so-
our best course of action. I agree.
We're going to collect some of these books. We're going to bring them back to the library. We're going to try and have an educational form of Mad Libs and figure out what the blanks are.
I will tell you straight off that it is not going to accomplish what you want it to. However, you can make me an intelligence check to gather some additional information. Different
All right.
information. Jesus, Damon, with these intelligence checks. 22. Okay. The books that you pull from the basement, you bring them into the library, and they are, when compared to each other, distinctly different. The leather binding it, the inks used, the pages, nothing about the book that you see below has any of the same bookmaking techniques as any books in the library itself. Almost as if these books came from a different location, a different place, a different world where the techniques were slightly different, or the materials used.
Took all this knowledge from my world. Gentlemen, I'm starting to think. I'm of two thoughts. One, they were able to get this knowledge, so they found a way to my world. And didn't want it replicated, so they removed it as such. So, as far as a course of action for finding a way to tether back here, I'm at a bit of an impasse. However, the means in education and process exist, just not here,
So it could be a different.
or in my world.
Once we leave this place, there is no way to come back, I thought. You're saying this stone that binds us to here is in your world?
And that's kind of my point here. It's a theory, but if we go through, and it does successfully bring us to my world, you two might not make it back to yours if we are unsuccessful.
I shrug my shoulders.
I do not know if that is a risk I can take.
Which
Well,
is why I explain it. We
We
don't
have
to
not
make-
exhausted all of our options yet. There is still the buttons upstairs to push.
All right, Levi, any other ideas?
honestly, I think that, again, I think your theory is very succinct, but I do agree with Baryon. We could always hit the button and see where that brings us.
All right, let's go push a button.
Honestly, have those stones in the place they're in, it might just move the tower as a whole to that location type thing. But I don't know. Just a theory.
Well, that would be a much easier way to teleport then. And if that is the case, in theory, the portal will bring us to my world. So if the tower goes to my world, then we can find our way to the tower as shown on the map, just outside of Greg Boshun, greatest named city in the world, and then we can get the information to find a way to get you both back to your realms.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, Baryon's the one that needs to go back to his realm. I'm actually fully fine exploring your world. So I'll want a bit of a. And I'm saying this as I'm beginning to walk toward the door. I'll just want a bit of a dump on what's your world's like, cultures, people not to piss off, etc.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
You begin making your way to the button. What button are you talking about? Said I'm thinking of
Out.
the same thing that you are.
South side, there's a button there. In the
Okay.
It's the tower room
Yeah.
where the floor plan turns out to be like a pentagram.
Yep.
So the button on the south wall, you press it,
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Okay. No wait. Okay, I don't.
the wall opens.
Oh, wait, the wall opens.
Oh, it's a
Yes, the
door!
wall opens.
Oh my gosh,
guys,
it's
a door. And I
door.
walk outside of the grass.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's upsetting. But that's fine. That's fine. We were playing it safe, and we're still safe, so that's good. Good job, everyone, for being safe. I want everybody to feel good about that.
I thought you were talking about the purple orb this entire time, so I'm like, okay.
That's the other button that I want to push. I want to push all the buttons.
However, Levi, perhaps the rod.
Oh,
in
here.
this room.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm gonna actually close this door.
You close the door.
I don't know what's gonna happen, and if this thing does transport, it might just transport this middle area. It might transport a bunch of things. I don't know. But I feel like having the door open is just not a great idea.
I'm not opposed.
I'm gonna hit. Let's see. How do you activate the things? Middle button, right?
Yes. You hit the middle button. The crystals surrounding the center begin to activate, begin to light. As they do, they direct energy into the center, which then rockets up, 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 and out of sight.
Oh, probably to the crystals on the top floor. Oh man, I want to run upstairs. I don't think I'm gonna get there in time, but I sure do try.
Okay.
Okay, and I follow.
Follow me. All right, and then I just go upstairs and I want to see if those crystals are activating.
You make your way upstairs, and indeed, all 6 of the crystals are glowing, and they appear to be directing energy at the purple orb.
Oh wow! Maybe run across the sand.
Baryon strides after him. He is very excited. He thinks he's trying to take control.
The strider of sand makes his way across the sand, thinking ever so much about how this sand truly is the way of sand.
That was sandedly put.
I put my hand on.
My mind breaking is done. Okay.
Everybody got their moment.
So, what do you do?
I am going to put my hand on the orb and make the map appear.
Okay. You make the map appear, and as you do, something is there that was not before. With the energy directed up, as you look at it, you can see, denoted around at some of the points of interest, symbols which seem to match the keystones in the basement.
Yeah.
This is what we needed.
Yeah, I take note. So with the
I don't
symbol,
understand, but I think you have done a great job, Levi. Thank you.
so the symbols, which one correlates to which section?
Two of the symbols you see right atop the tower that you're in right now, the Tower of Verathul.
Oh, cool.
You see two more of them above the city across the lake, the one that Damon named Craig Boshun. You see two more in the capital city of Gavost to the north. Finally, you see a series of three symbols to the south in the what appears to be the plains to the south.
So, taking note of all of these symbols,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
looking at them, they are symbols from the 3 discs that we have.
Yes.
They're the combinations of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, using this map, and in conjunction, the discs as needed, as denoted from the map, we can go to these places.
Maybe.
If we remember what they are, we can find our way back.
I'm gonna do more than remember. I say as I'm writing them down. I'm like, this plus this is not a
We
question.
have a plan. We have a way.
Potentially, but the question is now, if we touch one of these, does it move the tower as previously theorized, or do we want to try and go through the portal downstairs? So is this just a map, or is this the mechanism?
I
Well,
think we should try and touch it.
okay. You said in your world there were magic people who are all powerful.
Yes, the Sotara
Okay,
Kings.
so let's not test that. Let's
We
let's
should
not,
not.
let's not test it there.
If the power of this tower were discovered by them, they would enslave everyone across the entire continent.
Yeah, so let's not bring the tower there. And
Yeah, don't need that.
your world doesn't have that, right?
I mean, it's not full of great people, but Craig Bushun, greatest named city in my land, is a pretty neutral place. Though the individuals who run it, memory serves, they're notably powerful, as they're not governed by the leading faction that sort of oversees my world.
Is that good or bad?
I wouldn't say it's great. It's like a coin toss, you know. We'd get attention. People would probably come.
All right. So there was symbols that, like, there was a potential of moving this into a different place in my world, right? Or there was symbols somewhere else in my world, right? So we can see if we can stay here. Or we can go to the plains, which is new for all of us.
I would say, if anything, traveling to the plains is probably the safest for a test. Because as far as the other locations marked, they're notably populated.
That is very true. All right. Well, does someone want to try touching it on the map and see what happens? And then if not, I'm going to try activating it from the orb.
Barion, you're up. Touch those plains.
Varian goes out onto the map and touches the plains.
Okay. It is not easy going. You are, however, familiar with sand, so you're able to navigate it and make it to that location. You touch it, and it feels like sand.
That's exactly know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
fine.
projection. It's just
Yeah,
a projection.
We just wanted to see if it would do it. I try and I touch it from the orb and try and essentially activate that area.
As you do, all that happens is it seems to zoom on and focus to that area.
Oh, cool. So, okay, so this isn't necessarily a mechanism; it is a map.
It's a map. Yeah, that's what we said in the beginning. It's a
Yeah,
map.
but I thought maybe the whole portal could go. You never know.
No. But we have the sigils we need. We can utilize the correct combination based on the 3 discs that are here to go to one of these places. Open a portal as such. The only key point is that once you go, I mean, unclear as to whether or not the portal will be open, though usually there is a portal that's maintaining.
Suppose
So we should be able to get back. The only thing I'll say is this. The portal magic is familiar to my land. And though Barion has, as we understand, very powerful kings or warlords or whatever, who oversee with magic, if we were to open a portal to his realm, he might be meeting them very quickly, because there would have to be a place where the portal existed, and if they are harbingers of magic, they might be the ones who have the portal. It would be safe to say if we were to try a different location, the plains might be, again, the most inconspicuous of locations, as there's not like settlements, at least as far as the map shows us. But if we felt gutsy, I've already seen portal magic capable in my area, though I'm not sure where it would land us in Craigboshun, the greatest named city in my realm.
Of note, if you recall, you did see a portal in Craigboshun at the location of the hideaway.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember that we had a portal in there. Okay.
Yeah, that was the base of operations for the game.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, you didn't when you were in your safe place have the necessary combination to get there, but now you do, which is why you had to go by boat instead of taking the portal.
Right. Okay. It's coming back.
So here's what I would suggest. That I am aware there is a portal in a safe location in Craigboshun, greatest named city in my realm. We could use this as a trial run to that location, see if it works. At a minimum, my realm has portal magic, so if we have trouble getting back, we at least have the capabilities to research a way back.
I think that's smart. And we know what this looks like, so in theory we could also make our own keystones, as opposed to the plains where it could be stone cutters and monsters. We have no idea.
Or nothing, and
Yeah,
no
exactly.
means of magic.
Anyway,
Well, I'm not keen on leaving the door open, but I also don't see much of another choice. So
All right, let's enter the portal room then.
You make your way to the portal room.
I wonder if the Academy are the people that took all these books and burned them down. Maybe we should be quiet about this in my room.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I mean, especially because, besides potentially that witch, who we still haven't run into, so who knows where she is, we're the only people here, right?
Seemingly.
And that questionable bowl of food.
Oh, before we go through the portal, though, we should deactivate everything and probably, again, do this tomorrow. Get a bunch of rations from the stockpile and, just move into a new realm fresh.
That's actually a very good point. Can you take care of turning off all the things you turned on?
Probably, yeah. I'll head downstairs and attempt to deactivate.
Very well. You begin making your way through. You clean up the devices you left on. You shut the doors you left open before you eventually begin to set up your sleeping arrangements.
While he's doing that, Damon gathers a berry on to go grab food and try and prepare basic meals for us to eat before we sleep.
yeah, I'll make a sack of provisions. I guess I'll carry as much as I can for about five days. I would assume.
Yeah, and for the rest of the day, I kind of am just, I'm taking notes, but I'm literally just not quizzing, but just constantly questioning Damon about his world.
You spend your day preparing and learning before settling in for a night of sleep, before you will begin your journey to Craigboshun.
Greatest named city in my realm.
Yay!
Thank you so much for taking the time to enjoy our show and for liking, commenting, and subscribing. New episodes release every first and third Monday of the month, so come back October 19th for the next chapter in our adventure. Meanwhile, a special Grab Bag Gaming is happening here, so make sure you've subscribed to the RPG Blender. And if you want more non-D&D content now, why not take a look at our videos on running the game of Paranoia? If you want to stay up to date on our releases, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RPG Blender. And if you'd like to watch us live, go follow our Twitch at RPG Blender to be notified when our live streams begin. We also have a tip jar and Patreon if you'd like to contribute to improving this show. Links in the description. Music is The Punk Rock Show by My Free Mickey. Copyright 2012, licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution License. Thank you again, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.
And I pat the book and I go, well, I guess that's the end of that tale. And I wink to the audience.